Welcome to the first of hopefully many instructional videos on how to do things the 132nd way. My name is A&E. I am the IP and founder of the 176th Virtual Air Control Squadron, and I will be your instructor today. Today we're going to cover the communications with ground control, tower control, teammate control, and magic. What we're going to be covering is what you're going to say, which information you're going to receive, and how you're going to use it. Prior to entering your aircraft, you got to note down which frequencies you're going to be using. Usually, if you're flying the A10C platform, there's going to be presets in which you can scroll through. So you have ground control on preset 1, tower on preset 2, etc. This is not by default, this might have to be added, so take a note of your settings prior to entering. When performing communications, you're going to remember these three very important lessons. 1. Think. 2. Push the button. 3. Talk. This is basic communications, and it means that prior to pushing down the key mic, you're going to think through what you're going to be saying. Push down the button and make sure you push it down so some of your transmission hasn't been shortened off, and then you'll state your whatever. So think, push, talk. Very important to remember, otherwise there's going to be a lot of static on the frequencies, and if it's a very high density airspace, the tower controller and teammate controller, etc. is going to be really mad. When starting up your aircraft, you're allowed to start up as far as the APU. However, you're going to need to request engine startup from the tower control. The way you do this is you're going to contact tower, establish contact with, that's going to be ground, establish contact with ground communication. What you're going to say is, ground control trainer 1-1 parked apron south with Romeo 1016, request engine startup. Now what you just said is the recipient of your message, which is in this instance ground control, your own call sign, which I randomly picked out to be trainer 1-1. What you're then saying is your current parking situation. So the tower control, the ground control has some idea where you're parked when it comes to your taxi instructions later on. We'll get to that. You're then saying that you have information Romeo, which is the ATIS information, which is short for Aerodrome Terminal Information Service. What this does is basically provide you with the weather. This is a computerized machine that goes in a loop, so you can always tune in on the frequency and get the local weather. This relieves some of the pressure on the controllers not having to give you the weather all the time. Furthermore, you're going to tell the controller that you have the information, so he can either correct you or say that it's correct, and the QNH. And this is dependent on which aircraft you're flying. The KA-50 uses a different measure than the A-10s, so it's going to be different from whichever platform you're flying. The ground controller will, upon your initial communication, then reply with the following. Trainer 1-1 ground, Romeo 1016 is correct, startup is approved. You've now been cleared for startup and you're approved to turn on your engines. With your engines successfully started, you should now be ready to taxi. Doing this requires contact with ground once again. Ground, trainer 1-1, request taxi. Trainer 1-1 ground, taxi active runway 31 left via Alpha Bravo Charlie across the parallel and hold short at Echo. Once at Echo, contact tower 138.2. Taxi 31 left for Echo via Alpha Bravo Charlie and the parallel, contact tower when holding short to trainer 1-1. You've now received your taxi instructions and acknowledged that you have in fact received them and that you intend to comply with them. You're going to be using taxiways Alpha, Bravo, and Charlie and the parallel runway. Now remember, if the tower controller does not initially approve you to cross the parallel, you are to hold short of the parallel runway as well. This might be due to inbound or outbound traffic. Once holding short, you are to contact tower for further instructions. Important to remember is that every aerodrome has different taxiways. Therefore, depending on which airfield you're on, you're going to be needing your ground charts and your VAD charts. This is to provide you with situational awareness of the airfield and to assure that you know how to find your way around to their different runways. You should now finding yourself holding short at holding point Echo, short of the active runway 31 left in this instance. This time you're going to contact the tower as instructed on 138.2. You now switch your frequency to 138.2. Once switched to the tower control, you're going to establish communications with him. Tower, trainer 11 holding short at Echo, short of 31 left. Trainer 11, tower, copy, cleared, line up 31 left and wait. Copy, cleared, line up 31 left, trainer 11. You've now been cleared to take the active runway, which is in this case 31 left. Now, important to remember is that once you're there, it's going to be relatively fast for you to get into the air, as you occupying the runway is going to take away any other chance of anybody else departing or landing. Once you've lined up the runway and ready for departure, you're going to contact tower and give him the same information. Tower, trainer 11 ready for departure. Now, important to remember is you're not allowed to say the word takeoff until tower has done so. So in this case, you will notice that I use the word departure. You request departure or you're ready for departure. Very important. Trainer 11 tower, copy. Current wind 150 degrees at 10 knots. Runway 31 left, cleared takeoff. Climb out runway heading 3,000 feet and report passing. Cleared takeoff 31 left, climb out runway heading 3,000 feet and report passing. Trainer 11. You've now been cleared for takeoff and are ready to get into the air. You have been giving the wind, which is a factor that you might want to take into consideration if it's a crosswind. You've been giving your climb out direction, which in this case is runway heading 310 degrees, and your altitude. Now, once you're there, you're going to do as instructed and contact him again. If all is good and well with the world, you should now find yourself at 3,000 feet heading 310. You're going to, as instructed, contact tower and tell him this. Tower, trainer 11, level 3,000 feet. Trainer 11, tower, copy, contact, approach 127.2, so long. Approach 127.2, so long. You've been given your next instructions, which is, in this case, to contact the approach control on 127.2. That we're going to do. Approach, trainer 11, level 3,000 feet heading 310. Trainer 11, approach identified. Continue climb flight level 110 and turn left inbound Mojave. Flight level 110 inbound Mojave, trainer 11. You've now been given additional information or instructions. You are to climb flight level 110, which means 11,000 feet. And you're going to do that turning inbound Mojave, which is a fictional point I've literally just made up. This point is called a navigational point. It should be on the departure charts used in the 132nd. Dependent on which heading you're going, if you're going towards one of the training ranges or an active mission area, we're going to check out from the TMA control once you leave his airspace and contact whichever authority is in charge of the airspace in the ranges, which could be the range control officer, or the mission area, which could be the AWACS. And it's going to sound this way. Approach trainer 11 leaving to the west. See you later. Trainer 11 approach, copy that, contact Magic 226250. Magic on uniform 226250, copy, so long. You have now signed out from the TMA control and been pushed on to Magic, and this is the call sign of the AWACS. Now we're going to establish communications with the Magic. Magic Trainer 11 as fragged, currently flight level 074, climbing 110 inbound Mojave. Trainer 11 Magic, read you loud and clear, radar contact, continue climb flight level 130, flight level 130, now 11. Now you've established communications with the Magic. He's given you a new climb instruction because once you're outside the TMA control, it's his airspace you're operating in, and he's going to give you instructions on how to do. Usually, you will be given pretty much the entire airspace for maneuvering, unless it's a high density airspace. Furthermore, you're going to tell him as fragged. He is going to have an ATO which is going to state your intentions or your assignment. For example, do CAS and set up a wheel overhead some point in the mission AO. Now you're basically in contact with Magic and ready to perform your business. You might have to contact a JTAG unit, a FAC unit, a FAC A, or whichever instance. This will, however, not be covered in these instructions. With your mission now conducted and a long flight home, you might be reaching what is known as bingo or joker fuel, meaning you have to go RTB. Now, in order to do this, you're going to have to sign off from Magic prior to entering the TMA controller's area. Magic might give you instructions on which altitudes to fly and which direction to go inbound the area. The checkout sounds as follows. Magic Trainer 11 has finished our business and we are Joker RTB at this time. Trainer 11 Magic copies all. Flight level 150 for transit, inbound. Flight level 150, inbound 11. Now you've been given flight level 150 inbound. You're going to fly this direction until you reach the 3 mile distance from the approach controller's control area. You should now find yourself approximately 3 to 5 miles outside the TMA or approach control and should officially sign out from Magic. Magic Trainer 11 just outside the TMA control and leaving for local. Copy that, Trainer 11. Have a good flight home. You've now signed off from Magic and are ready to push back to the approach controller's frequency. Now signed off from Magic, you're to establish communications with the approach. Done as follows. Approach Trainer 11 with you from the west flight level 150 inbound first. Full stop landing. Trainer 11 approach identified. Descend flight level 060 and turn right inbound Tingis. 060 inbound Tingis, Trainer 11. You've now established comms with approach control. What you're telling him is you're inbound his area. That means the current flight level you're in and your intentions, which in this case is flight level 150 inbound for full stop landing. The controller would then give you a new flight level and a point to navigate for. Again, Tingis is made up. You should now find yourself in roughly flight level 060 and overhead or just short of Tingis. You should either contact approach or he should have contacted you already and given you further instructions. However, in this instance, we're going to contact approach. Approach Trainer 11, level flight level 60, just short of Tingis. Copy that, Trainer 11. Contact tower, frequency 138.2. Tower on 138.2. Thanks, so long. Your next step is now again to contact the tower controller on the designated frequency. Now it's time to establish comms with tower. Tower, Trainer 11, flight level 60, just short of Tingis, inbound for full stop landing. Trainer 11, tower identified. Turn left 320. Vectors for the ILS, 31 left. Left 320 for the ILS, 31 left. Trainer 11. Now, in this instance, I randomly made up an ILS approach. You can do several different approaches, and all depending on the weather and so on, you might as well do a visual approach. However, he's giving you a turn point or a turn heading, and for the exit runway. Once you are established on the ILS frequency or the beacon and you can officially confirm that you are on the slope, you're to tell the tower controller this exact thing. Tower Trainer 11 established on the localizer. Trainer 11 tower, copy, continue. Now you've been giving instructions that you've told tower that you're on the localizer and inbound for landing, and that you are to continue ILS approach. Once you're at what is known as short final, which is just short of the runway, you're to contact tower and tell him this exact thing. Tower Trainer 11 short final. Trainer 11 tower, the wind 150 degrees at 10, runway 31 left, clear to land, check gear down and locked. Clear to land 31 left, gear is down and locked, Trainer 11. Now you've been given clearance to land. Again, the wind is given, and you might want to take into consideration that currently the wind was 150 degrees, which is pretty much as close to a crosswind landing as it gets. Bear in mind that you might be pushed sideways. The tower controller is going to ask you to check that your gear is in fact down and locked. This might seem redundant, however, it's been seen several times that real aircraft have been swamped with doing so many other things on the final approach that they actually forget to put down the landing gear and then perform a landing with the landing gear safely tucked inside the belly of the aircraft. Not recommendable. If all is well, you should now be safely on the ground and ready to leave the runway. As a matter of courtesy, you're to tell tower control that you are in fact vacating the runway. Tower, Trainer 11 runway vacated. Trainer 11 tower, copy, thanks. Contact ground 138.1 for taxi instructions. Ground 138.1, Trainer 11. Tower has now pushed you onto the ground controller for further taxi instructions. Ground control, Trainer 11, runway vacated. Trainer 11 ground, taxi parking apron 1 via Zulu, X-ray and Foxtrot via the parallel. Via the parallel for Zulu, X-ray and Foxtrot apron 1 parking, Trainer 11. Now you've been giving taxi instructions to your designated parking area. There might be a specific parking point for you, say 33, slot 33 on the apron. However, if not stated, just grab a random slot. Your taxi should now be done and you should be about ready to get out of the aircraft. Prior to doing this, you're to contact ground once again and just sign off. Ground Trainer 11 parked and shutting down. So long. Ground copies, have a good day. You have now officially signed off and are ready to leave your aircraft. Well, that concludes the first of hopefully many lessons in communications in the 132nd Virtual Wing, the 176th Virtual Air Control Squadron. Bear in mind that this is only a quick guide. There will be documentation that you are required to read prior to entering events in the 132nd Virtual Wing. With no further ado, I wish you all a good day.